Welcome to Solomon Farm Park. Here at Solomon, we rely on the help of over 100 volunteers to keep our working farm park running and beautiful. In this video, we'll chat with the president of the Flax and Fleecers Spinning Guild, Janica Carter, to learn more about fiber arts. Welcome to Faces of the Farm.
One of those funny stories. We actually moved from Alabama to Indiana with my husband's job relocation and moved in, and our next door neighbor came over to welcome us, and she saw my husband's inherited antique grate wheel, purely decorative, and said, "Oh my goodness, do you spin yarn? I spin yarn." And I couldn't believe it because I had always, ever since I had first seen a spinning wheel, and I always thought that would be the neatest thing to learn to do. I knew how to knit and I knew how to crochet, but I had no idea how to spin yarn, and I thought that that would be amazing. So my next door neighbor, by sheer happenstance, was a guild member, and she took me to my first meeting, and I was hooked. So eventually I began learning a great deal from so many gifted artisans in the group, and last year they decided to elect me president, so I have the honor of serving as the president of the Flax and Fleecers Guild this year. The Flax and Fleecers group does actually still have some founding members to it, but it's got a nice variety of ages, and it's open to everyone. Anybody who is interested in fiber arts at any level, that has any desire to understand fiber preparation and spinning, can join. And the Fiber Guild has had a nice working relationship not only with Parks and Recreation, but also with some of the other organizations in town, including the settlers at Swinney Homestead, which is where we met for a long time before we moved out to Solomon Farm Park. The Flax and Fleecers exists for really two primary purposes: inspiration and interest in fiber arts, and education. It's not only an opportunity for people interested in becoming a fiber artist or are just exploring, well, how do I get from a sheep to something that I can actually weave with or knit or crochet with. It's also to teach even children that this is something that has been a significant part of cultural development, that learning how to spin fluff into string essentially meant a transformative change in clothing and in the creation of fabrics. It was actually a high level of technology, even when it began with something as simple as a drop spindle. This is my daughter's, and it's made from a yo-yo and a dowel, simple as that, to then getting into things that are more complex, such as a traditional spinner that you might pedal with your feet, having treadles like this, or even these days, an electric spinner, something so small, you can practically take it and use it in the car. The Guild meets once a month. We meet on the second Tuesday of each month, and our meetings usually start at 7 p.m. When traditional meetings have been held at the park, they're held in the Little Family Learning Center. We haven't been able to do that for community health reasons lately, so we have been meeting online via Zoom. We have a fairly active Facebook group. Anybody who is interested is welcome to be a member. Dues are $15 annually, so it is not particularly cost prohibitive. We meet and share projects that we've been doing. We have programs that are educational, where we learn either from one another or perhaps with guest speakers. We have a lot of hands-on demonstrations. And then we have some opportunities for some fun events, like a picnic during the summer and an end-of-the-year party in December. And we also sometimes have additional outings or skill development opportunities one member opened up his farm so that we could all learn how to dye yarn, dye fiber directly before spinning it. A lot of times people dye yarn first and wait to dye the yarn, but this was dyeing the fiber first, which results in beautiful rovings like this that then can be spun into interesting threads. We have approximately 40 members, and as I said, it's open to just about everyone. We don't have any children members at the moment. That's not to say that children don't sometimes show up with parents and have amazing abilities when given an opportunity. We have men and women and people of close to all adult ages anyway. And some of the benefits of membership include we actually have a traditional spinning wheel that we own as a guild and that we can rent out. So even if you're interested in spinning and don't know if you want to purchase a wheel just yet, it's an opportunity for you to come and learn and put your hands on a wheel and even take it home to practice and see if this is something that brings you joy in your life. With the settlers, in addition to sometimes doing spinning at events that they hold at the homestead, we also get the opportunity to be part of the Pioneers section of the Johnny Appleseed Festival in the fall. And that's an opportunity for people to go with their traditional wheels, their drop spindles, and actually even wear costumes that are of the correct period for that group and demonstrate what spinning was like at those times. Another historic reenactment opportunity people have is with historic Fort Wayne, and you'll find that many times when the fort is open, there will be several members of our guild in costume demonstrating fiber preparation as well as fiber spinning. Well, a favorite memory probably was the time that we went out to the president at that time when he opened his farm up for us to be able to go and dye fiber directly. There were sheep in the fields, everybody brought something to share for lunch, so the food was amazing. And then we got to watch the almost magical experience of watching the fiber turn from a plain gray or brown or cream. Lovely in its own natural right, but then to see things become shocking pink or electric blue was really, really fascinating. And once all that yarn, all that fiber dried, we were able to take it all back to the guild at the next meeting and show it around and start spinning it and have people see really from sheep to in hand what that experience was like. Do it. You want to, if you feel a passion for something, don't put it off. There are so many amazing, talented people in this community. We have so many guilds specifically to weaving. There are knitting groups, there are crochet groups, there is our spinning guild, and there are wonderful people who are so eager and willing to share their expertise and also offer encouragement to you. Things that you might think, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Anything that I've ever thought, oh, I just don't know if I could do that. It's always been a resounding, yes, try it. And oh, here's a tip, which has just been wonderful because I didn't think that I would ever be able to spin anything. And I actually managed on my own, with a great deal of help and encouragement. But when I went home, I was actually able to turn fluff into yarn, and it actually looks like yarn I could even knit with. So one day this will be something amazing. It could be that way for you too. The Fiber Festival is probably one of our biggest events that we get to help out with. We really enjoy being able to come out to Solomon Farm and work with lots of other fiber artists and local guilds to help the public learn more about what used to be ancient arts and now our burgeoning artisanal crafts. The Guild thinks it's very important as part of our education goals and our desire to increase interest in fiber arts to partner with Solomon Farm and have the Fiber Festival. It's another opportunity for many of the artisans I mentioned from other guilds to come together and demonstrate so many different aspects of fiber arts. There's everything from seeing the sheep being shorn to seeing how flax goes from this crispy hard straw into the finest linen to make the most delicate pieces of fabric you've ever seen. And it's very family friendly. It encourages all ages to come and to see and experience all of the different things that the different groups can provide. So if you have an interest in, say, knitting, maybe you want to learn something more about crochet, or maybe you've never thought about trying your hand at weaving or embroidery. All of these things are potentially going to be available from one Fiber Festival to the next, as well as a large variety of vendor options in case there are things that you choose to purchase so that you can go home and try your hand at being a fiber artist.